on the kitchen because on my last live video, where I was actually sewing, a couple people were like, when are we going to get another kitchen update? When's the kitchen update? So here's the kitchen update. It looks like nothing has happened, but like tons of stuff has been happening. And frankly, if you've ever done a renovation, you know it's a big old pain. And every time you think you get one thing done, you got another thing. So here is the paint so far. Ignore my painter's tape. Still have some touch-ups and things, but so this is the wall color, which is actually the same as the cabinet color. So I'm going to show you. This right here on the bottom is the main goal. That's the completed look. This is the hardware. This is the cabinetry all done. The molding and trim is also all done. I don't know how well you can tell, hopefully. And it's a full-on renovation zone, so we've got like wires and things, you know, schmutz everywhere. I can't wait for it to get all clean. But this is the end goal. So the kitchen started off like this with the white cabinetry, the wood pops. We're keeping the wood pops. But I just want to show you again, if you didn't catch the last one, this is how our cabinetry looks. Like everywhere across the whole kitchen. It's peeling, it's separating everywhere. It's all goopy and gloppy, and it looks frankly terrible. And it's not able to be cleaned well because they didn't use the correct paint, and it's very cheap paint. So for 3 years, we've just been kind of limping it along. Here are like some drawers. You can see they're just all separated everywhere, and the whole kitchen across the board looks like that all the time. They also had so much gloopy caulking all over the floor at the bases. So I've been spending a tremendous amount of time going through, and you can actually see a little bit of the white line because I haven't gone through to clean that up. I'm going to have to take a Q-tip and like solvent and go through and detail clean all the rest of that little stuff out of the edges. But I did it over here because there was literally like in the corner, there were whole like quarter sized things in the corners where they just let the paint drip and run and all the caulking everywhere. They did the same thing over here, here. So I spent a ton of time, like here's a good comparison for you. There's stuff everywhere, so excuse the renovation, but before and after. So my side on the blue, their side on the right, or on the left, excuse me, on the gray side. So I've been kind of battling that everywhere. And so going back through, redoing the caulking, like you can tell right there, I haven't gone back through and cleaned it up yet with the solvent. I'll do that at the very end, and I'll do it everywhere. Like here's a good example of how far they kind of came out, and I had to kind of split the baby to make it look better. So anyway, doors have not been painted. They will be painted. Knobs are getting replaced. Trim on both sides will get painted all the way. I just painted this side so far. And this is another really good example. I did not sand these. I probably should have, but I don't have 100 years to do this. So I had to paint over what they did. But at least from far away, it looks better than it did. So anyway, about the paint. Same color on the trim and the walls. This is kind of like a new, you know, trend, if you will, but I really like it for a few reasons, and I like the way it looks. So cabinetry in a semi-gloss, same as the molding down here in a semi-gloss, and you can tell how much it picks up the light. Like, see how it reflects a little bit, and I love that. But then the wall is an eggshell. So it's the exact same color, just different sheens of paint. And I love how that kind of sets it off in person. So I'll step back because this is the only section here and here I have completed. And there's two reasons for that. One, it's just a massive kitchen, but you can get the idea. If we, let me step back here and I'll kind of give you like a little glimpse of hope of how it's going to look with it being like completed. Obviously there's going to be backsplash there, which I'll show you in a minute, but, it's just, you know, it's a never ending thing. I still have to cut in this wall all the way across and go down there. But I stopped for two reasons. One, I just need to cut it in, and it's absolutely exhausting. These ceilings are, I think they're 20 foot. They're at least 15. They're really, really tall. And, yeah, it's just a lot. It's really exhausting to lean over and do that. So I did this wall and I cut it all in, and I have like just a couple little things I'll go through and clean up at the end. I've got one right there and I've got one over there I'll need to clean up. And then this cutting line, you can tell I got a little bit out of sorts right there on the texture. So I'll go through, clean up that line. This will end up being all blue, just like over there with the hardware. Same on top right there and right there. Just like this will get hardware. I haven't finished my hardware yet for 2 reasons right here. So we'll get into that in a minute. So I've just got a couple little touch-ups. There was something there. And this needs a roll coat, and I need to do the bottoms in here. And just again, another example of what these looked like. And I did actually sand these for hours. That's as good as I could get them. They globbed so much of the caulking in here, and I went through and I cut it and I scraped it and I sanded and sanded with like 4 types of sandpaper. So it looks a million times better, but without ordering new door fronts, I really can't fix it. I can't. I got all the way down to the bare wood on them to make them look good. So it's better than it was. It's not perfect, but it's at least, you know, good. Because every day when I go in my cabinets, this is the kind of stuff I see. And then they're like stained because this paint just is not good. And so they can't really be cleaned. So anyway, I have not done the hardware there because I'm not done painting. But I just wanted to get these hung and get them out of the way. We had a 25-degree temperature swing over yesterday versus today. And prior to the temperature swing, it's now 45 degrees outside. It happened literally overnight. We weren't expecting that for a few more days. It's been so humid, and it has been raining for days and days and days. It's so wet outside, and just sticky and tacky. And now that it's cold, it feels better, but I haven't been able to paint any cabinetry, spray it or roll it for a couple of days. If you know anything about painting, if you paint at the wrong time, it'll be tacky forever and it won't adhere nicely. So, I got this door done and then I need to get its partners finished and then move on to the other side. So this side got done and this side got done, and they look really pretty and they're all nice and clean and perfect and whatever. And you know, you can see the bottom is all nicely scraped and cleaned up and all that. But then I had to stop. I'm able to paint the walls and the trim because it's air conditioned in here. So I don't have to worry about the humidity, but the humidity spike outside, you guys, everything was covered in condensation. Like the outside of my house has been covered in condensation for 2 days. So we kind of had to take a little pause, but I got all of these back on. I'll take the doors, the official doors off, and then I'll paint the rest of that trim, and I'll take the doors outside and I'll spray them. Same with here and this door. And then again, we're just like throwing stuff in the pantry right now because renovation zone. Obviously, I've been drinking a ton of wine to get me through it. So the latest developments, we found lighting. I love the lighting. It's not up. This is the old lighting and we're in the middle of taking it down. So again, with the builders, we were told, and these were supposed to be pendant boxes, right? Load-bearing pendant boxes. Well, we put up one of the pendants we got on that side today, and I heard a bunch of creaking, like loud creaking. And I told my husband, I said, I don't think those boxes are pendant boxes. And he said, no, they're pendant boxes. They're supposed to be for pendants. Like that's what we paid for. Like that's what we built. The house came standard with 3 pendants, and we actually just had them take out one because I wanted 2 big pendants instead of 3 little ones. And the builder kind of gave me hell about doing that. And they said, well, we just put up lights. We added all this extra lighting, by the way, when we built. These were not here. So we added extra. There was like 4. And we said, no, we want a whole bunch. So we put in tons of can lighting across the whole house because we love can lighting. But anyway, and by the way, if you're building, don't skimp on the can lighting. It's so cheap and you can't really do it after the fact. Not usually. So anyway, there was supposed to be 3 here and they give you pendants. And I said, well, I don't really want your guys' pendants anyways. Can you just put in only 2 boxes, center them, They didn't center them, so you'll notice that. I said I wanted them hanging in the middle of these, and we're standing centered in front of the hood, and they are not centered. So, you just deal with it, but whatever. If you kind of look at the ceiling there, see what they did? And when we found it well before we were closing, they said, well, we'll have to redo the whole ceiling and you'll have to pay $5,000 because they screwed up. And I just said, I'm not doing that. And it wasn't worth the fight at that point anymore, but you can see how incredibly off center they are. They were supposed to be centered there, centered to this, like on either side. But anyway, so, we just deal with it. But all that to say, when we pulled these down today, the creaking was like so loud. It was astronomical. And I told my husband, I was like, open that up and look. And sure enough, we open it and look. And this is just another one of those things with the builders. Like, you have to watch them like a hawk. And we did, by the way. We were here on this construction site like every other day. Look at this. This is not a load-bearing box at all. This is an old work box. This is what you buy to put in something A that's not load-bearing, but B, when the house isn't at studs and you can't get to the studs, you use these. But we built our house from scratch, from the dirt up. This was planned from the studs, and they ran all the electrical before there was any drywall. They had no business doing this. It's just pure laziness and crappy work. And then they literally had told us, oh, you can go ahead and put your pendants here. We just tossed some of these on here so you can replace it with whatever light you want. These are not, there's nothing to bear the load here. So these literally just have the little clips that hold on to the drywall. Well, we went to install this light fixture today, this pendant, and it probably weighs, I'd say, I don't know, 12 pounds, 15 pounds. It's a regular pendant, nothing crazy, and it sounded like the ceiling was going to fall in. I'm so glad that we checked. I could hear the creaking, and it just, yeah. So that's what they did. And so I'm certain that that one is the same. And so, we'll just like everything else in this house that they totally, I mentioned on the last one, we had an electrical fire inside the wall. They installed our AC wrong. So our AC literally exploded and we had to replace that. And it was not covered under anything because it was their bad workmanship. And so the AC company wouldn't cover it because they said, it's not the parts, it's the bad workmanship. Like, there's just been so many things. And it's, I'm aware that it's like first world problems, but when everything in your new house looks like crap, acts like, crap, has to be replaced, has to be fixed. We have, like I said, a retaining wall outside that's failing, 3 years in. So we're going to have to replace that at our expense. And the fence is coming down with it, because it wasn't, properly done. Like, there's just so many things. But anyway, so that's we opened up this can of worms and now we're going to fix it. So we just got back with the parts for that. Here's how you fix it. And it's very lucky we have a 1-story house. So we bought these boxes, which you literally go up in your attic and install, and you attach them to the studs using these brackets. And these have a 50-pound load bearing, whatever, they can bear 50 pounds. So that's how you would do it in this case. But because we built this house from scratch, they should have just framed these properly and put the boxes, they should have just framed them. But, we'll fix it. And so we're going to have to install these. Then we'll put in the lighting. That being said, this is the lighting that we're doing. I don't have one hung, but you can see this one. And so, we're going to hang it at the same height as that guy. And then you'll have to imagine this will be blue. So it'll be just like the side over here, all blue. So these, when they're in front of the blue, they really, really pop quite nicely. My arm is not really long enough, but let me see. They're very pretty and I am so proud of myself. I happened to get them on clearance. So that's as long as my arm is. Hopefully you can see that in front of the blue and the wood. They pop really nicely. So we got 2 of those and I found them on clearance and I really like them. They've got some interesting good interest to them, a little bit of gray and distressing, which I don't want a ton of, but it goes really nicely with the counters. So there's that. And then the next thing is our tile. I've been auditioning tile, and this is the one we're going with. And I'm really, really excited about it. It's a little hard to pick up one-handed. I actually had it stuck up here on the wall, and then I took it down. And then I thought, I should have shown you guys, so maybe I can stick it back up there. I literally just used 3M sticky tape to pop it up there. It's probably not going to hold for a super long time, but you can kind of see the scale. So what I really like about it is it's a white on white. This detail, it's just a little bit of a gray white. Turn some more light on. And so you get the texture, but we're doing white grout. So it won't be dark grout lines. It'll be white grout. So it'll be white on white, because this is a really big area. That's a 12 by 12 tile. So that kind of gives you some idea about how much of it we're going to have. And so we'll have it all across, all in. I'm going to put a shelf actually here with a plate rail, to be able to display some cool kitchen stuff. The knife rack is staying, and so that'll kind of give you an idea for over there. Just think that'll be white and the white countertop, and it'll be this backsplash. So because I can't paint, I did just start painting again, but I'm being careful because it's so cold outside. It's 45 degrees and the humidity is still pretty high. I'm going to do the backsplash there and there. So I'll get that done, and then I'll be able to grout it. And then hopefully I can get back to painting, and you can see I need to do touch-ups on the bottom, and I have just started that door and those two. I couldn't paint for the last 3 days. I could paint the walls, like I said, so I've been doing interior painting because it's air conditioned in here, so the humidity was not a big factor. But outside spraying, I'm taking all these outside and I'm using the painting pony and all of that to spray. But it's been, oh my gosh, so humid. So I had to stop. It was okay, this isn't gonna adhere well, and that's not gonna work. So the other thing that we did was I had to replace all the hinges with new hinges, because the painters, when they painted this house, again, this is custom built cabinetry, so why they did this, I'll never know. But they installed all this and then they just painted over it, and it looks totally junky, so I really couldn't reuse those here. So we just ordered new ones, and because I had to order new ones, I went with soft close, and it was really no more expensive because I just ordered them on Amazon, and they are so nice. I'm really happy that I did that. So anyway, I guess I did just think about this. I can put the hardware here and there, no reason not to now. I did already install it years ago now. This is the trash can and recycle pull out. So I did put them here, and you can see how nice it looks with the wood. So anyway, that's the kitchen update for you guys. So far, I'll be working. I'm going to keep working till it's done. I'm exhausted, but lots of parts of me are hurting. I'm trying to take it slow. And then, just weather and other things keep getting in the way. The weather has been crazy. So, and then, now dealing with this. This was not a part of the project. We were having to, always anticipate when you do even a cosmetic renovation, there's going to be something. But I really was not expecting to have to crawl up in the attic and install, boxes that can bear the load for pendants. I'm so frustrated that the builders, they don't keep doing it. They already did it years ago now, but we keep finding things where it's cool, you guys cut another corner, and this is a safety issue. This is a standard pendant that we put up there. It's very lucky that these are so lightweight. We put these in as a stopgap measure. They weigh nothing. And I got them so cheap online, and it was we just put them in to have something. And now that we're finally getting around to doing this renovation, I find that pendants have no business being in these boxes. That's not safe. So, you know, I'm also glad that we're smart enough and have done this enough renovation things to homes to know like what's safe and how to fix it and what to do proper. But it really just aggravates me that builders, anybody would do work that's not safe and not proper and tell somebody and sell them, you know, a bill of goods and charge them for something that's just not proper. And like I said, we've had so many things in this house that are like for real safety issues outside of the cosmetic, just like sloppy bad work. You know, it's very lucky that the fire that happened in the wall stopped itself. We don't even really know when it happened. The outlet had been working and then all of a sudden wasn't working anymore, and we opened it up and everything inside the wall was charred and melted, and like the insulation was charred and melted, and the whole backside of the outlet was totally melted. And this was not like a little spark. This was a legit fire. So we're so incredibly lucky that, you know, and that was like 3 months after we moved into the house. We're so lucky that we didn't end up in a fire in the middle of the night, you know, or a fire when we weren't home and our animals were here, like just, ugh. Anyway, so that's how the renovation is going. We're, you know, slowly making our way, but you can get an idea of the color. The only other painting I have to do is cutting in here, cutting in that little section of wall right there. I already did all behind the fridge and everything. Yeah. So I'm excited to get tile. That will make a big difference. Get it done there and there. And yeah, I'm loving the outcome. Just, it's a lot more effort than I kind of anticipated. And also I'm so realizing, like, this is, like I said before, this is my third kitchen renovation at 3 different homes. And I can feel my age. I'm getting too old for this. Everything is hurting me. I'm like, this is goofy. You guys might have seen this little clip. I'm wearing compression socks on my legs because my feet are swollen. My legs are swollen from being, you know, up on the ladder and stuff, and on my feet just all day long. And the ladder, like, this is such a, forgive my like expression, but such a like old person thing. When I was in my 20s, I never would have said this. This ladder is like an adjustable. It can be like straight, whatever. It's got skinny rungs instead of the thick style. They're skinny because this ladder is like adjustable all over. And I was telling my husband, that ladder really hurts my feet. Our old ladders had really thick rungs, and it was more comfortable. And he was like, yeah, it's because, you know, it's all this adjustable and it can be a straight ladder and all that, and we need it for these ceilings. Hey, Hammond. Hey, buddy. He's old and has lost his hearing, so he has no idea I'm talking to him. Can you say hi? Nope. What you doing? Yeah, buddy. Chin scratches are our favorite. Yep. You're gonna have a stretch. What you doing? What you doing? Wandering around the construction site? He loves tools. Tools are his favorite thing ever. Like, he loves tools. Don't you, bud? Anyway, so that's the kitchen update. There's just like tools everywhere, stuff everywhere, drop cloths, plastic, and doggos, and paint stuff, and more drills, and just like boxes and tools and boxes and tools, and now light fixtures. And then yeah, Corey's really excited to go up in the attic and fix all of that. It's like 40 degrees up there, quite literally, so chilly, super chilly. But yeah, I'm happy that I finally picked backsplash, and lighting. So that's the plan for today. Hopefully by the next update, those will be backsplashed in there, those 2 insets, and they'll have the brass edge finish, metal edge finish we're going on either side, and then the edge finish will be right there too, the brass, and right there. And then we'll have all the grout done here. And I'm going to start painting these this week as long as the humidity lets up. So that's kind of just what I've been waiting for. It's been really slow going. And then, yeah, So that's it. I figured I'd just update you guys. It's a mess. It's a renovation zone. We're like still living here, so there's, like a little bit of dishes and other stuff, but I'm trying to keep things out of here, but this has gone on for so long, I can't, like, for the first couple of days we didn't use the kitchen at all, but now we're just like abandoning, like we can't abandon the kitchen, I guess is what I mean. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good Sunday, and probably another, week, and then I hope in another week I'm done. I really want to be done. This, I think, is going to take a pretty extraordinary amount of time, though, because I am going to have to sand and do all that. So anyway, all right. Here's your update. Bye.